give you a side of bacon for her, though.
Hi, hello, welcome. These are going to be my thoughts about the Gears E Day multiplayer beta. I played both weekends, I swear. I even have, evidence on my Xbox that I downloaded and played. I just forgot to uh, capture footage for a video. Well, I captured footage for TikToks that I will put on screen that show evidence that I did play, but these are my feelings about the multiplayer beta as a filthy casual, and also what I want to see coming forward for the full release of Gears E Day. All right, so my thoughts as a filthy casual go as the following. With PvP, it honestly feels great. I was never really good at Gears PvP in the past, mainly because I was a little late to PvP. Honestly, because I never owned an Xbox 360 when Gears came out. I had to go to a friend's house to play Gears, and usually we played co-op, campaign, or horde mode. So I got to Gears PvP very late when I got my finally got my own Xbox. Uh, so when it comes to that, I am very casual, and to be honest, feels great to play. It's felt really good to play this multiplayer versus Gears 5 multiplayer, which is the only Gears I've played multiplayer with, and this feels a lot better. It doesn't feel as like sweaty to play versus Gear 5's multiplayer was, at least to me, because again, remember, I am a casual. I mostly did co-op and solo play. So coming to PvP from this perspective, the PvP feels really good. I can't wait to see what the rest of the maps are going to be like, and hopefully they are able to keep the maps coming at a consistent rate to help keep players interested. Because that's what they really need, is to make sure the map they're continuously bringing in new maps at a consistent basis. Um, Other than that, they feel good to play. It feels very good to, like, when you're playing King of the Hill, and they're shooting at you and they're popping a smoke and being able to flank and get kills. Like, I wasn't able you weren't I didn't wasn't able to do that in Gears 5, but in this it feels like an actual thing I can do as a casual, which is a good thing. That means that there's plenty of options for casuals to get kills, to play, to actually contribute to the game, which is good. Anyone that says otherwise doesn't understand gaming, because casuals make up the majority of the market. So when casuals are having fun, that means everyone's having fun, and few people complaining are just idiots. Also, I've seen two content creators talk about the multiplayer beta, which just confused me, and I want to mention it real quick before I move on to horde mode. And that would be, I believe, Dreamcast Guy and DSP. DSP, obviously terrible at video games. If you want an aneurysm in your skull, uh, I'll link both videos for you guys to see. But if you watch them, Jesus Christ, like, DSP has no idea how to even play a video game, and it's just irritating to watch him constantly complain, especially about the Nasher shotguns and all that stuff. Even I, as a casual, understand the game better than he does, and he claims to say, he knows how Gears was, when it's evidence that he's never even touched Gears back in its heyday. And then Dreamcast Guy is basically, a lot of his complaining makes no sense, because a lot of the stuff he could fix himself by going into the options, and then he get stuff wrong about the controller layout, um, which is just odd. And by the way, the controls feel fine by default, but if for whatever reason you still don't like them, even though they feel fine, um, just go into the settings and you can change them to be more classic. But it the evolution of the gameplay is important, and I don't know why Dreamcast Guy and other people similar to him complain about the gameplay with the movement because it still feels heavy. They the gears still feel heavy. It still feels heavy to move around this world just because you can jump and the sprint is slightly different. I just don't understand uh, why they are complaining. People like them are complaining so much when Gears needed this because even though I actually didn't mind Gears 5, I thought Gears 5 was all right, even though the Coalition's Gears haven't been as good as, you know, Epic Games' Gears with Cliffy B in charge, but you know, I still think they're pretty good. They've been doing a lot better than 343 and Halo Studios. Jesus Christ, I don't know what they've been huffing over there, but the Coalitions, at least they seem to be trying with Gears. So, there's that. And with E-Day, with the beta, to me, it shows that they are really been putting their time to make sure this feels like Gears, but it's an evolution of the Gears play style, which is greatly appreciated as someone who has spent years and years playing the series at friends' house, and then when getting my own Xbox, basically playing it once or twice a year. I would go through the whole trilogy, 360 trilogy. Um, so with that being said, Dreamcast guy and DSP. I'll try to remember to link their videos in the description so you guys can see what I'm kind of talking about. But yeah, I feel like I felt like I needed to address their bullshit before moving on to Horde mode. All right, so now about Horde Siege. Horde Siege, I honestly really love. It's sort of like an extraction shooter, like Helldivers in a sense, but with a Gears twist on it, and it feels really good. I mean, I do hope they bring back a more classic Horde mode, but for now, Gears Siege seems to be on track to be a really good mode to play. It feels really good. The map is nice and big, but you have 12 people playing on total, including you, and it just this is filled with so much dynamic gameplay. Like it just something about running around, uh, doing objectives, and then running into another squad and helping them, or them helping you, getting revived by another squad, or them reviving you. It feels so good, and then the progression system along with the horde mode also feels really good. Of course, in the beta, it stops at your class rank stops at 10, so we didn't get to see what a full build would look like, but I would imagine a full build in horde mode for a class is gonna look insane. I already really loved the gun customization that they have for horde mode. It feels really good, and I can't wait to see more of it. I do hope in future updates for Horde mode after the full release, we get we get more classes and more guns and more gun parts. I think it would be a real boon to Horde mode. And plus, if they were also add a classic mode, but there is a short version called Blitz, which is basically one or two objectives instead of like the three or four you would do in a regular siege mode. And there's something called just like Horde, which is just like 10 waves in a particular portion of the map. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really play any of that mode. I was mainly Blitz in the main Siege mode that I played, and I really enjoyed both, especially Blitz. Blitz felt good because you get in and out in like 10, 15 minutes, which is really nice, especially when I would play Helldivers and you'd be stuck for like 40, 50 minutes on a single mission. So it was really nice that they had that option for those who just want to get in and out for PvE mode. Okay, so this next part, I just basically want to talk about what I want to see in the full release. Obviously, I want the campaign to be really good. And so far, from what we've seen from the trailers, it looks like they really are concentrating hard on the campaign. I do have faith in them because I do feel like they will be able to deliver on it because it seems like they have been taking their time and to really try and understand what makes Gears Gears. Um, and like I said, I didn't hate Gears 4 and 5. I understand what they were going for with 4 and 5. Like 4 was a slow startup. Like people complained that it was slow, but they were trying to build up to this big conflict, which is why it started out slow. They were building up to the conflict in Gears 5. Uh, I will fully admit, yeah, again, the story I enjoyed more of Gears 5 than 4, but the problem is they also wrote themselves into a corner with Gears 5. So I feel like going back to E-Day was probably the best course they can make while they figure out what to do for Gears 6 and onward. But I do feel like they'll be able to deliver with Gears E-Day, and of course, egg on my face if they don't, but I feel like they'll be able to. At least better than what, again, Halo Studios slash 343 have been doing. And then, of course, again, more content. I would really love to see for PvP a custom game mode. Actually, custom game modes for both the Horde mode and PvP would be great. I feel like it'd be just overall boon for the game if they add custom game modes for both Horde mode and PvP. Um, and of course, I need Coltrane to be a playable character, whether it be like additional story DLC, which I hope they don't do, but or just having him a character in the PvP slash Horde mode. I don't care. I need Coltrane. Um, Obviously, I would like to introduce more weapons, also to the PvP and multiplayer. I don't know how they would without breaking the lore, but I'm sure they'll they can find a way that'll be satisfactory for everybody. Um, and yeah, that's basically what I want is obviously to fix whatever bugs and issues that showed up in the beta. Make sure everything is running smoothly, and bring in custom game modes, a classic horde mode, more weapons, bring Coltrane and the other Gears characters to play as, and just get the story right. That's probably gonna be the most important part is make sure this you get the story right, and which so far it seems like they are. I know I've seen some people getting, again, people, I've seen people online getting worried that they're going to make the new character Carter the focal point of the story, which is just stupid because they've clearly shown that it's a story between Dom and Marcus. So I don't know why Carter would be more important than them. And I also seen people complaining about the way she looks, and to those people, I say you need to touch fucking grass. Those are uh, my thoughts. They're kind of off the cuff, no real script, but yeah, I'm really excited for E-Day, and if they can get the campaign right and fix the bugs that are in the multiplayer, it's honestly going to be my game of the year over GTA. So yeah, here's hoping for a successful launch of E-Day, which I think they are going to have a successful launch with what we're seeing from the pre-order numbers and all that. And I dare to say Gears might be back, which it sounds great to hear, especially since someone who has so many memories from whole nights with friends playing the classic horde modes in split screen co-op at my buddy's house. So like they see that Gears is coming back in such a way, it just hits so much differently now for me, and I just can't wait. And if you guys like this, enjoyed me rambling about my thoughts and you want to see more, then let me know. I am more than willing to cover more Gears content or any other content that seems interesting in the gaming space. Uh, but yeah, hit that like and subscribe button, and I hope you're having a wonderful day.